Most of what you think you are isn't you. Every word you speak, every choice you make, every emotion you feel is being quietly shaped by something beneath your awareness. It's the silent director of your life, the subconscious mind. You don't see it, but it's always there, a shadow companion, storing your memories, fears, habits, and instincts. It's the part of you that wakes up before you do, and yet few ever learn to understand it. So today, let's dive beneath the surface and explore how the subconscious mind truly works, what it is, how it controls us, and how we can reclaim a bit of that hidden power. The subconscious mind isn't some mystical force. It's a psychological layer, a vast archive where your experiences, emotions, and learned patterns are stored. Freud described it as the realm of repressed desires and unresolved conflicts, the part of the mind that drives behavior while pretending to sleep. But today, we see it differently. Modern neuroscience tells us that up to 95% of our daily actions are controlled by unconscious processes, automatic patterns in the brain that run below conscious awareness. You could call it an ancient autopilot evolved to help us survive in a world of danger and uncertainty. It regulates your heartbeat, controls your breathing, decides your reactions before you even think. When someone insults you and you instantly feel anger. When you meet someone and instantly trust or distrust them, that's not rational thought. That's programming. Patterns learned long ago, stored deep in your neural architecture. Your subconscious isn't thinking, it's predicting. It learns from experience, and its only goal is to keep you safe, even if that means keeping you small. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychoanalyst, once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." That's the real danger. When you don't know your subconscious, you live as its puppet. You repeat patterns of thought, emotion, and relationship not because you choose them, but because they're familiar. You fear rejection because your childhood taught you love was conditional. You avoid risks because failure once brought shame. You chase certain people because they remind you of wounds you never healed. These are not choices, they're echoes. Your subconscious doesn't differentiate between the past and the present. To it, time doesn't exist. Only emotional associations do. So when you feel triggered today, it's often your mind reliving a memory it never processed. That's why some people live the same emotional story for decades. They change cities, relationships, jobs, but the same patterns follow because they carry the same subconscious program everywhere they go. Let's talk science for a moment. When you learn something new, like riding a bike or playing piano, it starts in the prefrontal cortex, the conscious part of your brain. But as repetition occurs, that skill is transferred to the basal ganglia and cerebellum unconscious centers that handle routine and efficiency. The brain does this because it's lazy, or rather, efficient. Conscious thought requires energy. So the brain automates whatever it can. Every habit you repeat, good or bad, gets embedded in neural loops that operate automatically. Neuroscientists call this neural plasticity. Every repeated thought strengthens a neural pathway, and every ignored one weakens it. Your subconscious is essentially a network of these well-worn roads, and your daily life runs along them like clockwork. So when you say, "I can't stop overthinking," or "I always fall for the same kind of people," what you're really saying is, "My neural highways are built this way, and they can be rebuilt, but only through conscious effort, repetition, and awareness." The subconscious doesn't speak in logic or language. It speaks in symbols, emotions, and sensations. That's why dreams feel strange, yet meaningful. Jung believed dreams were letters sent from the subconscious encoded messages revealing the parts of yourself you've ignored. When you dream of falling, it may represent losing control. When you dream of a locked door, it might symbolize a repressed emotion or forgotten desire. But these symbols aren't universal, they're personal. They're shaped by your experiences, culture, and fears. The subconscious mind is both universal and deeply individual, like an ocean that touches every shore differently. In this way, understanding your dreams isn't about decoding a hidden dictionary, it's about learning your own symbolic language, listening to what your inner world is trying to tell you without immediately judging or rationalizing it. Let's go even deeper. Why does the subconscious form the way it does? From the moment you're born, your mind is constantly being programmed by your parents, culture, friends, school, and media. During early childhood, your brain waves operate mostly in theta state, the same state used in deep meditation or hypnosis. That means children absorb information directly, without filters. When a parent says, "You're lazy," or "You're not good enough," that phrase doesn't become a belief, it becomes an identity. And once embedded, it runs silently in the background of adult life. That's why affirmations or positive thinking alone rarely work, because they're spoken to the conscious mind, while the subconscious is still running a 20-year-old program underneath. To change that, you have to go beyond words into experience. Visualization, meditation, deep journaling, therapy, these don't just make you feel better. They rewire the neural loops that define who you think you are. The key is consistency. The subconscious doesn't change with logic, it changes with repetition and emotion. Whatever you feel deeply and repeat often becomes real to it, and eventually it becomes you. Now, let's bring philosophy into it. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, didn't speak in the language of psychology, but they understood the same principle. Our thoughts create our world. Marcus wrote in Meditations, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." That's exactly what modern neuroscience describes. Whatever thoughts you repeatedly entertain, your brain strengthens those circuits. You literally become your dominant thoughts. So when the Stoics spoke of living in accordance with nature, they weren't talking about forests or rivers. They were talking about the natural order within yourself. To observe your impulses without being ruled by them. To choose virtue over instinct. In modern language, this means crop everybody's. To take conscious control over your subconscious reactions. That's why Stoicism remains psychologically powerful today. It's cognitive restructuring before psychology ever existed. It's mindfulness before the term was coined. It's training the subconscious to serve the conscious, not the other way around. So, can you ever fully control the subconscious? No, and you shouldn't. It's not an enemy, it's your ally. You just need to form a relationship with it. Here's how to start. Observe your triggers. When something makes you overreact, that's your subconscious speaking. Don't fight it, study it, ask, what memory or belief is this protecting? Reprogram through emotion, not logic. The subconscious learns through feeling. Visualization, meditation, or journaling while emotionally engaged can reshape it far faster than rational thought alone. Repeat, don't force. You built your subconscious over years, you can't rebuild it in days. But every small, consistent change, every conscious decision repeated begins to carve a new neural path. Meditate daily. Stillness isn't just peace, it's access. Meditation lowers brain waves to the same theta state where the subconscious listens. That's why ancient Stoics and modern neuroscientists both agree. Awareness is the gateway to freedom. Here's a paradox. The more you explore the subconscious, the more you realize there is no fixed you. You're a living process, an interplay between biology, memory, and awareness. Your conscious mind is just the narrator. The subconscious is the stage, the actors, the script, and the lighting. And behind both, perhaps, is something deeper still. The observer. The pure awareness that notices both your conscious thoughts and your unconscious impulses. In some traditions, Stoicism, Buddhism, even modern cognitive science, this awareness is the key to liberation. When you realize you are not your thoughts, you begin to choose them. You can still feel fear, but not be defined by it. You can still hear the old subconscious patterns, but respond differently. That's the beginning of mastery, not control, but consciousness. The subconscious mind is not mystical. It's biological, psychological, and deeply human. It holds your wounds, your fears, your talents, and your memories all intertwined. It protects you, but it also limits you. It's both your greatest obstacle and your most loyal servant. And if there's one thing to remember, it's this. You don't have to silence your subconscious. You have to listen to it. Every reaction, every pattern, every dream is a doorway to deeper understanding. And as Marcus Aurelius said, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if you will ever dig." So dig, not to escape who you are, but to discover the part of you that has always been awake, even while you slept.